Hi, everybody. Mindy Patterson here with the Cavalry Group, here with a very important legislative update. Last Thursday, on April 1st, Colorado House Bill 1102, the Consumer Protection for Dog and Cat Purchasers, was amended in the Senate Agriculture and Natural Resources Committee. Unfortunately, it was no April Fool's joke. Consumer Protection for Dog and Cat Purchasers, which has already passed the House, was originally drafted to mandate that pet stores source their puppies and kittens from rescues and shelters only. Ironic that the sponsors named it the Consumer Protection for Dog and Cat Purchasers, because pet stores ensure that the puppies and kittens that they sell are sourced from licensed and regulated breeders. Breeders who undergo vigorous inspection standards to sell to retail pet stores, while the nonprofit rescues and shelters are exempt from the same rules and inspection standards required of breeders and pet stores. And that is the case in Colorado with the Consumer Protection for Dog and Cat Purchasers, or HB 1102. This very point actually came up during the Senate Ag Committee hearing last Thursday when Senator Fields asked the bill sponsor, Senator Hawk S. Lewis, why shelters and rescues were not included in the bill. Let's listen to their exchange.
Can I ask a question about this amendment?
Please, Senator Fields, go ahead.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We heard testimony. I think I know the answer to this because I've read the bill and I'm looking at the bill title, but there was a witness that came up that mentioned why we did not, or why you did not consider adding shelters and rescue animals. I was wondering if you could address that.
Senator Hawkins Lewis.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I think that would not fall under the, the title of this, but yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, thank you.
So if HB 1102, or the Consumer Protection for Dog and Cat Purchasers, is really about protecting the consumer, then shelters and rescues should be included in this bill, not exempted. The reality is that animals sold or adopted out by unregulated shelters and rescues pose significant risk to the purchasing customer, and there is plenty of verifiable evidence of this fact. And it's no secret that the Consumer Protection for Dog and Cat Purchasers is biased legislation written by animal rights groups who are against pet breeders and those who sell animals for profit. Senator Sonnenberg brought up some outstanding points along those very lines during his comments in the hearing. Listen to this.
Senator Sonnenberg, comments before we do final action.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And even though it doesn't fit under the title, it's concerning that we don't include nonprofits, any of those who, quite frankly, bring a ton of animals from out of state. They're not just for picking up animals on the street; they bring animals in from out of state. So there is they're a challenge, and why they weren't included in the bill is well. Let me just give you my synopsis on why they weren't in the bill, and then. So the sponsor knows this isn't about you. You had a number of people ask the question, why do we always have to do this? Why is this always coming up? Why do we always have to come down to the Capitol and fight to keep our business alive? And I can tell you the number one reason. It was the first person that testified on this bill. And her organization. The organization that spends 98% of their millions of dollars politicizing stuff rather than helping animals. They keep bringing this stuff, and they keep shooting at everybody that has anything to do with animals. It's you today. It's livestock the next day, it's circuses the next day, and they fracture every single one of us. They drive this ship where they have no idea what they're doing and no idea of how good a job that you guys are doing taking care of animals. Now, we heard someone testify that someone took a dog home and it got sick in 3 days. I've taken babies home from the hospital and they get sick in 3 days. I'm not sure where that correlation was, but what I will tell you is this. These attacks won't stop until we send a message. Until we send a message that we're tired of people coming in here and meddling, saying something, hoping it sticks on the wall, and destroying people's livelihoods. And that's why I'm going to ask for this committee to send a message and say, no, we're not going to continue to do this. We're not going to continue to work on this. 4 or 6 out of 1,000 people registered, businesses registered. That's what we're trying to address. And so he broke it down. This becomes even more frustrating, and for me in agriculture, because I know what's next. You've all heard about the pause deal, the 16 on the ballot. I don't know if their fingerprints are on it yet, but you can bet they will be. I'm thankful for you people, the pet stores, those people that raise dogs and love their animals just like they love their children, just like I love my animals even though they're cows, and I shed a tear every time one dies or one gets sick. I'm thankful for the work that you guys do. I'm thankful for the services that you provide, because if you close down pet stores, people are still going to get puppies, they're still going to get dogs, but they're going to get them where you don't know. And you're not going to know where they came from or what they're like. The Department of Ag does a good job with this program, as we learned. Members, let's put a stop to this. Please vote no. And thank you to all the pet stores, the dog breeders, and all of those that do the work so that we can enjoy animals and take care of animals. Thank you for letting me rail, Madam Chair.
So the facts are these. HB 1102 is not about protecting consumers. There are plenty of horrific examples in the news nearly every day about dogs sourced from an unregulated rescue shelter that has bit a child or an adult, as opposed to pets sourced from licensed regulated pet breeders who breed pets which are purpose-bred to be a safe family pet. HB 1102 is also not about protecting animals. There are plenty of laws already on the books surrounding the care and welfare standards of breeding dogs and cats. And finally, HB 1102 is a direct attack on small business. At a time when Colorado's urban and rural businesses are just beginning to recover from coronavirus shutdowns, HB 1102 is a perfect example of irresponsible legislation seeking to shut down legal businesses across the state of Colorado and beyond. Senator Fields actually gave a very interesting closing statement addressing her concerns about being mindful about harming business in Colorado. Let's listen to her comments.
Senator Fields.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to make some comments as it relates to the testimony I heard this afternoon. And I was really struck by the amount of opposition for the bill in reference to the impact on business. Since COVID, we've been sheltering safely at home. People aren't shopping. And I know if you have a business, any kind of business, it's hard work. And so we had a testimony where people were just sharing how they love their animals. They love the line of business that they're in. And, I'm going to be a yes vote on this bill, but I can tell you that I don't think we should be impacting businesses right now. That's my personal opinion, because I think it's hard to be in business, especially if you own a pet store. You don't see very many. I understand, I heard there's 13 in the state. That's not very many. And so I was starting to count how many people were in opposition of the bill. And then I lost count. But I think that we need to be mindful of legislation that impacts business, because we need our economy to be thriving. And when you do purchase a dog or a cat, I think sometimes they're very, very pricey. So there's only probably a certain element of people that can afford those kinds of things, but I didn't like the tone of the testimony as it relates to the kind of impact the business owners and the workers was expressing that this bill might have. So I am going to be a yes vote, but I was really troubled by the testimony that we heard. So I just want everyone to know that I heard you. I understand what you're saying, and it troubles me. But when it goes to the floor, we'll see what happens next.
Wow. So she hears you, small businesses, and she understands what you're saying, and it troubles her, but she's voting yes. It was during the Senate committee hearing that an amendment was introduced which would grandfather in existing pet stores while prohibiting new stores. This doesn't do anything to protect consumers. This only hurts business. The chair of the Senate Agriculture and Natural Resources Committee, Carrie Donovan, ran for her Senate seat on the platform of helping to grow small business in Colorado. That is, unless your small business doesn't align with her personal agenda and beliefs.
One of the most powerful things we can do to bolster the economy of rural Colorado is to grow small businesses. And so a program like READY, the Rural Economic Development Initiative, does just that. READY grants can be used to buy capital or expand your business or provide training. As long as it creates new jobs, you can apply for a READY grant. These are transformative investments for small towns, and that's why I fought for it in this year's budget to get additional funds.
Colorado citizens, beware. If your business does not align with their ideology, they will legislatively ban your legal business out of business. You should care about this because they are limiting your choice as a consumer and promoting their ideology through the legislature to drive already regulated, successful businesses out of business. AB 1102, the Consumer Protection for Dog and Cat Purchasers, passed the Senate Agriculture Committee last Thursday 3-2 and is now headed to the Colorado Senate. I urge you to contact members of the Colorado Senate and urge them to vote no on this tyrannical action by Colorado representatives and the senator who are sponsors of HB 1102. The link for the Colorado senators I have put below, as well as the link for the full committee hearing, so you can listen to all the testimonies yourself. Thank you for taking action.